L.A.
All right, fantastic. By the way, coming up in the next segment, it's up at Infowars.com. Shooter James Holmes didn't build his supposed theater attack. Obama did. And in this case, it's actually true. He built it with unemployment checks and welfare, $20,000 of body armor and all the rest of it. Of course, the guy can't talk. His mother says she didn't say what she said, but let's just believe the official story of the former intelligence chief of Mayor Bloomberg, who's sworn to get our guns, who's the police chief out there, who in his first press conference says, don't question their official story. Well, there you have it. It's official. Joel Gilbert, let's continue with some more calls. Colin in Texas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Alex, no problem. I just wanted a quick comment before I ask my question for Mr. Gilbert. You should put a picture of Obama looking at that Ronald McDonald killer saying you didn't do that, government did that. That would be funny. But my question for Joe Gilbert over here, I'm an info warrior down here in Texas. I always try to talk to everyone I know about real issues and real things, and most of them are sheeple, and they don't want to listen to anything, especially about the birther stuff. So if I could get one fact that is shocking and maybe easily verifiable by Googling it from you that all the info warriors out there could use, that'd be great.
Okay, I'd like to tell you that there's one quick factoid that would help the cause, but you have to remember that Obama spent 4, 5, 6 years creating this false identity as the son of a Kenyan goat herder, and he would then bring people together because he had a multicultural ideal. So you've got to have them buy and watch the film because it puts it all together in a cohesive way where they can understand that Obama's real father was this Communist Party USA propagandist and Soviet agent, Frank Marshall Davis. He's the man who also raised him, his ideological father, and everything falls into place once you see how it works.
Thank you. Let's jump to the next caller. Joe in North Carolina, you're on the air with an evil person engaged in the First Amendment.
Could be, man. Could be. Who knows? Hey, Alex, quick question for you. How many mass shootings has occurred since 2008, since he actually took office, till now? Does anybody know? Quite a few, or?
There's been less than 10 big ones, but about 6 or 7 big ones if memory serves, and a lot of gangland stuff that's real. But there's been some real Prozac heads that go and shoot 5, 6, 7 people. Why do you ask that question?
Or isn't that kind of out of the ordinary for in a particular term for a guy who's knowingly against the Second Amendment?
What, are you next going to say he shipped guns to Mexico to blame the Second Amendment? Now, you're really a conspiracy theorist. Even though that's admitted, it still doesn't exist.
Yeah, true. I was just wondering if we had the numbers on that. And
we need to look that up. You have a quick question for Joel Gilbert?
Joel, you're doing a good job. I haven't seen your movie, but I'll be sure to go in and take a look at it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, folks, look. It takes money to run this operation, a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money for me. Certainly not George Soros, who gets banker bailout money and then funds MSNBC and all these other attack groups. But it takes $4.5 million a year to run InfoWars. I've got close to 45 employees, crew members, contractors now. We're really trying to launch and reach even more people with this platform. So it takes a lot of DVDs to get there. Well, it isn't just DVDs. It's advertisement. It's a bunch of things. It's memberships of Prisonplanet.tv. We are pumping a lot of money into this operation. So buy the film, you support us, you support Joel Gilbert. Buy all the products. It's all stuff I believe in. The Pro Pure water filters, InfoWarsShop.com. Joel Gilbert, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
All right, there he goes. We're going to come back and get another amazing guest on to look at forms of government persecution. And then we're going to continue with news looking at all of this. But if anybody thinks Mitt Romney's going to save them, they're crazy. Just like I told you, Obama isn't going to save you with Bush. Okay? They're bought and paid for. Now, we had Joel Gilbert on earlier, filmmaker, and every time, and I'm trying to basically inform him from my perspective, every time we bring up the fact that rich ultra elites are actually funding communism and socialism, not to empower people, but to get control of them. And that it's really a form of crony monopoly capitalism. I mean, Carol Quigley wrote books about it. All the globalists have talked about it. And when I bring it up, people just don't get it. And Aaron brought in this article about Thomas G. Ayers, you know, the father of Bill Ayers. And it says, CEO chairman of Commonwealth Edison, board of directors, G.D. Searle, super evil company, Zenith Corporation, General Dynamics Corp., First National Bank of Chicago. It just goes on. And it's the same with all these people. And look at how you had Romney and Bush, then we're going to our guest, coming out of the very same companies. And you've got Bain Capital funding Obama. And you've got, at the same time, back in 2004, you've got the same people who are members of Skull and Bones, this Illuminati death cult on record. You've got Kerry and George W. Bush, who are cousins. And now if you look at Romney and Obama when it comes to actions and who owns them, it's the same people. It's Obamney 2012. Or Robomney. And it's just so frustrating to realize so much of the public is living in fantasy land. Now, I really wanted to get him on because I heard him on the radio a few years ago, or heard a YouTube video of audio where he was on a radio show, to be technical. Larry Pinkney is a veteran of the Black Panther Party, the former Minister of the Interior of the Republic of New Africa, a former political prisoner, and the only American to have successfully self-authored his civil political rights case, the United Nations under the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. And it goes on, in connection with his political organizing activities in opposition to voter suppression. Pinkney was interviewed in '88 on the national television PBS NewsHour, formerly known as the McNeil Lehrer NewsHour. He's been all over TV, radio, you name it. He is an editorial board member of blackcommentator.com, and you can find out more by reading his book, Saying No to Power, autobiography of a 20th century activist and thinker, William Mandel. But the point here is that I wanted to get him on to talk about COINTELPRO, because this stuff still goes on, but now the Department of Defense is involved. They've got fake bloggers. They call them robots, not just real people, but robots that go out and attack people. And they attack the left, the right, libertarians, conservatives, Christians, Buddhists, Muslims. They always beta test on a group that's unpopular, like Muslims. But really, the whole thing, if you look at it, is while they've got all the good old boys with the John Deere hats hating the Muslims and ready to give up their rights, actually, you get the government documents, it's all demonizing the good old boys. There's a global corporate takeover of this country. They brag they've done it. And it's very, very dangerous. And we need to understand the types of tactics, because when I've heard Mr. Pinkney on the radio talk about some of the stuff he went through or the things he witnessed, I've had similar things done to me. Some, just the classic stuff. Lies put out. My wife called, women calling up saying they're pregnant, or that I gave them a disease, just standard stuff that came out of COINTELPRO. And this was documented. State of Texas had a big COINTELPRO operation that got shut down in, 1980. But it's also death threats, people breaking in your house, people, trying to intimidate you, trying to get you fired. A lot of this goes on, and it's totally illegal. Kind of like the NSA spying on us is illegal. And Larry Pinkney joins us. Larry, thanks for coming on the show today.
Alex, it's a distinct pleasure and an honor to be with you today on the show. Thank you.
Well, you've heard my little rant there. Tell us about yourself, your awakening, and the process of what you witnessed.
Well, the bottom line is this. I want to jump right in. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about me. You've said it all, really. I'm a veteran of the Black Panther Party, former regional minister of Interior for the Republic of New Africa. I write I'm an editorial board member with Black Commentator, blackcommentator.com, and associate editor with intrepidreport.com. But more important than any of that, I continue to fight for the human rights of all the people. And I began right here at home in the United States of America, or the so-called United States. I'm beginning to wonder how united we actually are. But anyway, let me say that the experiences that I have had personally as a political prisoner for 10 years, having been set up and framed viciously, and I'm not the only one, there are thousands. And by the way, let me make a point, my brother Alex, let me make a point. This covers people of all colors. I repeat, this covers people of all colors. We are all targets. The intent of COINTELPRO is to, and I quote, out directly from U.S. congressional records, I quote, to frame, to murder, to set up, to imprison political activists, anyone who dissents the policies of the United States government. Now, somehow, that strikes me as going contrary to the United States Constitution and to the Declaration of Independence. Somehow, that strikes me as being blatantly contrary. So I continue today, in the year of 2012, to struggle on behalf of all people, black, white, brown, red, yellow, all people, because we are all targets. And as you so correctly said, Alex, COINTELPRO goes on today. An example is the NDAA, the so-called National Defense Authorization Act, which Obama signed very quickly and quietly on December 31st, 2011, New Year's Eve, when nobody was paying attention, which act makes it, quote, legal to actually detain indefinitely whomever the government, and Obama is currently the chief of the government. He is commander-in-chief. But it makes it very clear that U.S. citizens in this country can be indefinitely detained without trial, without judge, without jury, without the right to legal defense. It is time for people to wake up, all people, and get out of la-la land. Get out of it, because we are in serious, serious trouble, Alex.
We are. For people that haven't gone through what you've gone through, and I've only gone through a little bit compared to what you've gone through, they don't understand. They don't want anybody getting organized, period, that the power structure doesn't control. And, you know, looking at how the Black Panther Party started from my own layman research, wasn't it trying to get communities organized, soup kitchens, getting people off drugs, getting people, together, and then they come in, infiltrate it, destroy it. Because, I found out very early on, if I just tried to help do community things, nothing got the system after me like that than if I tried to stop them bulldozing a veteran's home or something. The system is so scared of the people ever standing up in decent and wholesome ways because they know other people that are going to join it. So their job was infiltrate it, wreck it, provocateur it, and then change the perception of how the people saw the Black Panther Party. Is that correct?
You are right on, as we would say in the party. My brother, you are right on. You see, the name of the game was then and continues now to be to discredit. And the name of the game in terms of discrediting is to simply present people such as yourself, okay, who are seriously attempting to awaken people, to raise their consciousness, to get them to understand what dangers we are in. You and people like you are considered very dangerous. Indeed, you and myself and thousands of others in this country are considered dangerous, not because we have broken any law, not because we have done anything untoward, anything wrong. But then again, I suppose it is wrong for people to become conscious, for people to understand that, in fact, the name of the game is to control. And you used that word earlier. I was listening to you. You used the word control. And that's what